Okay, hello everyone. I am um, so happy that you're joining me today. I am Christina Taylor, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from North Canton, Ohio, and I am bringing to you today some snowy day projects, all with snowflakes. So we here in Northeast Ohio. We are going to be seeing snow sooner rather than later. I'm sure of that. So this is a peek of our projects today. I'm going to just move them out of the screen and share a few things with you. Just get them over here. So I wanted to share a couple things with you before we get started. First of all, there are new online exclusives that were released with Stampin' Up! And I have a printout for some of the products here, courtesy of one of the girls on my downline. She so kindly printed them. So it's just a peek at some of the products that are newly released. November 4th, they came out, so they're available. You can see them strictly online. That doesn't mean that you can't purchase them through me. It just, when it says an online exclusive, it just means that you will not see them in a publication other than like this printed out file here. They are just featured online. So you can always order them. If you see something online and you prefer that I place your order, you're welcome to contact me. I'm happy to do that. But always keep in mind, if you place orders online, you earn 10% in rewards through your online account, with your online account and through with Stampin' Rewards. So that's always a little extra incentive for you to place the order yourself to get those rewards so that you can redeem them on your next purchase. So just make sure to check out what's new on my website. I'll come back to this here in a minute. Um, while I'm talking about that, I thought I'd share a couple of products with you. So you'll notice this is new packaging. This is a stamp set and dies, and it's very thin. It's an envelope as opposed to our traditional cases, like a DVD case. It's now in a slim envelope. So I wanted to share this with you. This is a new online exclusive. It's called Friendly Foliage, and there's a set of dies with it. So the stamp set and dies are going to come like this. And as our stamps are all transitioning over to photopolymer, I just got this, so I haven't even had time to mess with it, to create, to do anything with it. But that's the images and the stamp set. And then here you'll see the dies. It shows you how they're cut out, what's in the die set. And then of course, I'll just flip it over here. You'll see the dies within this particular set. And they complement and cut this out. Like this one here cuts out this image. This will cut out all the white that you see here within these little greenery pieces. You can cut this piece out and like overlay and put like a little inlay of different color in there. So I'm particularly excited about creating with this particular stamp set and dies. So I thought I'd just grab this one, and then I grabbed another one just to kind of show you a new punch bundle, but also with a stamp set. So this is the new banner sayings. And if you want to get a closer shot at those sentiments there, you can just do a screenshot and kind of zoom in. It'll give you a little bit better of a shot, but it is a photopolymer stamp set. Let me just tuck that down in there. And it's bundled together with a banner punch, which gives you three punches or three. Look, you can see me right there in the in the punched mirror image. Anyway, you've got three different banners, and it punches them out all at one time. So you can do like little strips, like half-inch strips, and just punch the one you need, or you can punch multiple ones. And all these sentiments work really well with this punch. I think this one, let me check the stamp, the pricing for you. I may as well tell you while I'm just talking about it here. I think it's only like $35. It's very inexpensive. Um, well, I should have been a little bit more prepared. and already look that up for you. The friendly foliage, that one is 38.50. So that one's also very reasonable. Oh, and the punch bundle is also 38.50. So I think those are super reasonable prices for a bundle with a stamp set and dies or a stamp set and punches or punch. So yeah, something definitely to consider, but that's just a peek at what's new. And then also something to share with you. This is just my scribbly scratches on here to kind of mention the sales. So coming up, if you're on my email list, watch your email because I'll be sending out details probably this weekend actually, because the sale starts on Tuesday. We've got two big sales coming. A Black Friday sale, which starts Tuesday, November 25th, and runs through December 1st. And it is up to 40% off of selected items. So that could be stamp sets, dies, punches, embellishments, ribbon, designer series paper, like all kinds of things. And I don't know what is in the sale because they have not released those details to us. Just this information. This is all I have. So this is all I can release to you. So if you do not have a an online account for your Stampin' Rewards, you might want to set that up because this is a sale that you'll want to shop. You want to shop early because there could be limited quantities of things, and when things sell out, they're no longer available. So that's coming up. Watch for details in your email about that. And then next is like a double bonus of uh, stamp sales right back to back. So when this one is ending, this one is actually beginning on the same day. So there's a paper pumpkin sale, and that starts December 1st through December 9th. And our paper pumpkin prepaid subscriptions are on sale. This is a great sale. So let me share with you a little bit about it. So our paper pumpkin, you know what? I should just grab a box. Let me grab a box. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry. I just went and grabbed one. So let me see what I've got here. This one is June. I haven't put this one together. I actually think I got multiple ones of this one if it's not. Yes, the Full of Charm kit. I love this one. So I did get multiples of that. So this is the brand new kit. So this is Paper Pumpkin. On this particular month's kit, you're making 9 cards and it comes with envelopes as well. Aren't those beautiful? I mean, they're beautifully detailed. So everything comes packeted together for you like this. And this one, you actually get a roll of tear and tape. You get some dimensionals, some glue dots, your adhesive backed embellishments, and then all the supplies are packeted together in there. In addition to that, you get this stamp set. So the Full of Charm stamp set, which you can see has some floral images and then some great sentiments. There we go. And then, wait a minute, I must have had, you know what? See, I did have two because look, this is in here and I didn't use it. So you don't get both of those. It's one. And then the Stampin' Spot is the pretty peacock Stampin' Spot. So all of this comes to you delivered right to your door, and typically it ends up costing around $27, $28, depending on your local tax, but you have shipping included on that. So it's a subscription-based product that comes right to your door once a month. Usually it ships on the 11th of each month, and I usually get mine around the 18th, 19th. So and I'm actually waiting for the November one to arrive now that I think about it, because today is like the 20th and I don't have mine. So I'm hopefully it's gonna come tomorrow. But anyway, I got sidetracked there. So this is a monthly subscription that comes right to your door. It's everything that you need to sit down and create all those cards. You get your stamps, your adhesive, your ink, and all the supplies. And you always have the stamp set and the ink and left over to like reuse again and again. And the majority of the time, there is additional supplies in there. I always have extra supplies in my kit that I don't use on the cards that I can use to create more cards with. So let me get to the details here. The reason I'm so excited about this stamp sale is because twofold. So the 3 month, 6 month, and 9 month prepaid subscriptions are on sale. And you can see here the regular price. So the 3 month is on a sale price is $61. And the regular price is usually 81 with $20 coming off of that. There's a 6 month subscription, and that sale price is 122. Normally it would be 162. So you're getting $40 savings on that one. The 1 year prepaid subscription is $244. It's normally $324. That's 12 months of crafting kits, 12 stamp sets, 12 ink spots, lots and lots of cards. It is $80 off. So depending on your level of like what you would like to try with Paper Pumpkin, you can choose your subscription. And the great thing about Paper Pumpkin is you can pause it anytime. Like, say you get your first kit and you're like, you know what, I'm really busy next month or whatever, because we always get a preview, a little bit of a preview of what's coming in the kit. It's just like a sneak peek. And then you can decide, like, hey, do I want to pause my subscription or do I want to go ahead and get that? Because there's always tons of ideas you can do with Paper Pumpkin kits in an alternative way. But you have control over that. Now, when you do subscribe, you do automatically, as you subscribe and you enter that prepaid code, because that's how this comes as a prepaid code. Or, yes, I believe so. You know what? I have to correct myself a little bit on that because we've changed systems over. So I believe it does send you a prepaid code. And I apologize for not being like super clear on that, but that's how it used to be. Anyway, you enter that code to start your subscription or activate the link, and you will always get that first month of the kit, or the first month of the subscription. Oh my gosh, words are hard today. It will go ahead and start. So you can't opt out of the first month when you start when you buy your subscription. That first month is a given. You will go ahead and get that started for your subscription. You can pause after that. Now, I had someone ask me at class, they actually two people, they have a current Paper Pumpkin subscription, and they're like, well, how would I do that? Because I would end up getting two kits, because if you activate a new subscription and you have your old one, if you do that, you won't want to pause your your initial one, the one that you have now, and then activate the new one. And then you can have that opportunity to pause that subscription if you choose to. It sounds more complicated than what it is. And sometimes I get multiple kits, so you may not be, disappointed if you're getting multiple kits of each month or whatnot. So I'll explain it better in an email. I don't know. I'm just really jumbling with my words today. But regardless of if you do a 3, 6, or 12 month, the savings is still the same. I calculated it out. And so like I said before, it's usually like $27 a month. With the sale on any of these subscriptions, it ends up being around $20 a month. So you're saving a $7 savings each month, or $7-ish, a little bit more. So you can't go wrong with any of them. I think it's a great promotion. And the December kit, I saw a preview of it. It's cards and it is beautiful, absolutely beautiful. If you like the Peace on Earth or the Peaceful Garden stamp set and suite of products that's in the holiday catalog, you will love the January kit. And it doesn't have a holiday feel. It's very, very calming, it's blues. It's so pretty. So I don't think you'd be disappointed. Anyway, I'll stop talking about that and just watch for your email. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Oh my gosh, I was chatting enough there. So you're I'm sure tired of just like, Christina, get on with it already. Okay, let me get all of our supplies. So let me kind of share with you what I'm using so I can get everything out of the screen here. So we're using the Stylish Stitch Shapes dies. I've used this size circle out here, which I've already gone ahead and done. So you don't have to watch me die cut. And then we're using the Snowflake Kisses dies. Now, there's only 3 left in here because I'm literally using these dies on all the projects. So on this particular project, I'm using this large die cut, which cuts out a whole panel of snowflakes. And then I'm using these 2 smaller ones, the one with the multi-flake and then the smaller size flakes there too. So these are the only three that I didn't use on all four projects, but I think the last class I did use these on too. So this is a great set of dies, and it's bundled together with the Snowflake Kisses stamp set, which you can see here. Let me go. There you go. Now you can see all the sentiments. I think this is a great winter set. It's fun. The sentiments are lighthearted and just kind of warm, sending warm hugs. I love that. Happy winter. I mean, goodness, we can use that for months here. So this is a stamp set. It's photopolymer. We're using Misty Moonlight ink. And I'll just put the snowflakes over here. I've grabbed some snowflakes out of, oh my gosh, I have snowflakes galore. I think it was a retired set because I put snowflakes on every project that we did at class. I wanted to make sure that everyone had something to stamp their envelopes with. And I grabbed those snowflakes out of the Snowflake Wishes stamp set, which some of you might have that. Okay, so let me put these dies over here. So this is the project we're going to create. Isn't that fun? Oh, I used this die too. I didn't grab that one. Let me grab it. This one right here. So this one is also out of the Snowflake Kisses stamp set, and it die cut out on the panel right there. So you get these like recessed snowflakes into there. Put that back over there. And I got creative and took those little snowflakes and put them on this side here. All right, so we will go ahead. I'm going to put this up in the corner here. If you are working along with a kit to go at home and you want to go ahead and create as I'm talking, I did put this circle that's popped up on the dimensionals are under the designer series paper. So there is a little lift to that area. Other than that, everything is glued just straight to the card. So I'm going to set that over here. So with our supplies, we've got our white envelope. I'm losing my voice this week, so bear with me. I've got a piece of Misty Moonlight. I'll take, I'm going to rearrange this a little bit so that it's better for the camera. We've got a piece of Misty Moonlight that's 5.5 by 8.5. It's scored at 4.25. And then you have two pieces of basic white that are 4 by 5.25. So this one is already die cut. This is our inside layer, so you don't have to watch me do that. This is our top layer, and it is also 4 by 5.25, and that is die cut. The cool thing about this is when it die cuts it, it gives you this circle. So I didn't even have to punch it out. I already had the circle. It did like double duty for me. So you've got a white circle. Then I've die cut the designer series paper with the stitched circle die cut. And then we've got our die snowflakes that came out of that recessed piece that we're going to glue on. And then we've got small, kind of like a small, medium, large as far as snowflakes. So we'll put those aside here too. Okay, well, let me go ahead and get started. We'll fold that and flatten that crease. Okay, and we are going to, I guess we'll go ahead and get our stamping done. Let's do that. So I'll move the card base aside. I'm still trying to get used to my my new camera setup. This is a little different for me, so I'm just I'm hoping that you can see the project better. I'm a little closer and I just have a new camera set up. So please let me know, like in the comments, you can let me know how it works for you if you think it's better because you can see closer. On my other setup, my camera was much further away, so it just things were it didn't zoom in as much. So um okay. So I'm going to put the Happy Winter on the inside of this one. Stamp that there. And I am stamping on a foam mat because this is photopolymer. And And then on my circle, on this one, I did, if kisses were snowflakes, I'd send you a blizzard, which is a fun thing to send somebody that you just love so much and want to send them some little kisses. So on this example here, I'm going to do be warm and well. And I'm going to do it kind of like in my lower left-hand corner because I want to leave space for those snowflakes, okay? And I'm just going to clean off these stamps with my chamois, which is very well loved. It's used at class, so it's got a lot of ink on it, a lot of love there. And we'll go ahead and do our envelopes. I'm going to tuck that in under my paper and stamp this. Okay. Put a little bit of snowflakes on the front there, and we're good to go. Okay, we've got all of our ink done, so I'm going to go ahead and shut that. And I see I've got a few little pieces still in this, which if you've got a kit to go, you may have that as well. So I just want to poke out all those little pieces that still might be in there. I think that's everything. Okay. All right, we're going to go ahead and layer our card. Let me grab my liquid glue and get my silicone mat. So silicone mat is great to do if you're doing detailed gluing like this. If I get the glue on my mat, it'll just rub right off after it's dried a little bit. So I'm just gonna take my Tombow liquid glue. Now something to keep in mind when you're using the Tombow liquid glue, um, sometimes sometimes you want to put more because you're like, well, it's such little areas and it's just a liquid glue. It's not going to hold very well. This glue holds very well. You can see by what I'm doing here, I'm just putting little dots of glue kind of everywhere. I'm not everywhere, but in select spots, I guess you'd say. You can see what I'm doing and it's not just kind of flicking it around. So I've just got it in little select areas here. I don't have the entire thing glued. It's not necessary. This glue holds incredibly well and you just don't need to like cover it with glue, massive amounts. First of all, you'll have it all over your fingers and it's just not necessary. So you're wasting your adhesive. So I'm going to go ahead and place that on my card front and get that. Okay. Just kind of creating a frame around that perimeter. So I like the way that looks. I'm going to go ahead and mat it down there. So that's good to go. And then I'm going to come in with Be Warm and Well. Put a little bit of adhesive on there. And I've got a little strip there. Oh, it's sticking to my finger. Okay. And just determine which way you want your stripes to go, because you want to keep that in mind when you're putting your sentiment on there. Like if you don't want them at an angle like that, just make sure you've got them set the way you want them, which we'll do on my card here. I've got them going horizontal, so we'll do vertical on this one since we're changing it up a little bit. I'll put that one down. And dimensionals. I just had dimensionals here. Where are they at? There we go. Okay. So we're gonna put some dimensionals on this. I'm just really trying to be better about my hand placement on here. So I apologize if I go off camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that down in place. And then I'm gonna attach these little snowflakes. So again, putting this one, I'm just gonna hold because I just need a little bit of adhesive. on the snowflake. Put that one down. And then we'll do, for these two, I'm actually just going to go ahead and put a dot of adhesive right where I want it and set it in place. That makes life so much easier. Little dot, just a little tiny dot. You can see it's super tiny. You don't need a lot because you'll be wearing it all over your fingers if you have a ton of it on there. Okay. All right, so we've got the front of our card done. We need to come back in here with our inside layer. Okay, so we're going to go around the perimeter. And I'm just going to put a little down here. Bottom inside layer. Okay. Okay, so we've got our inside layer in there. And so now we're going to come in and put these snowflakes in. This one aside. Bring my foam mat, or not my foam mat, my silicone mat back in. And put some. I should have grabbed my little silicone brush that I have. I'll grab it before they do the next one. Okay. Put that one right there. But you could follow the pattern that's there, but there's no like right or wrong way. After all, it's your creation. Okay. I'm trying to put this one in the corner. And then, oh, I grabbed another corner piece. So you know what? I'll put that one right there in that corner. You might have in your kit, you might have multiple corners for like this little snowflake here. Either one will work. Any of them will work. You can just mat them there. But isn't that a nice reflection of this card? It's kind of just taking those little snowflake flurries around to the other side. So that's our first project. All right. I'll go ahead and set this one aside. Let me get these dies out of the way. Okay. And we'll come in with another project here. Okay. All right, let me pull this aside. Oh, you know what? Oh, I wanted to. I thought it would be fun. Let me grab it because I almost forgot to do it. I put a little shimmer spray. I thought it would look nice on this one. So I've got my little paper pumpkin box and some shimmer spray that I've just used with some rubbing alcohol and some of our shimmer paint. And I'm just going to spray that. I'll put it aside. And the camera's not going to pick it up. I know it's not going to pick it up, but anybody that got a kit to go, you're going to see some shimmer on your project, which will be nice. Just adds a little extra something. Okay, we'll put these aside and come in with our next one. So we're going to use Garden Green, our ink, some snowflakes. We've got the Peace on Earth stamp set. And for this one, because it's a snowy day theme, so everything has snowflakes on it, but I've made it an all occasion card class. So I went and made this one of sending heartfelt prayers, kind of like a either sympathy, something somebody's had needs a caring note. So that's the purpose of this card here. Instead of specifically sympathy, I've just got sending heartfelt prayers, whether it's going through an illness or somebody's injured or the loss of a loved one too. So this is a great set. It's in the holiday catalog. But on this one, like the peace, love, and joy, and then the peace on earth are kind of holiday sentiments in a sense, but the rest of this is like all occasion. So I think this is a great set to invest in. And then I grabbed the snowflakes out of Frozen Edges, which is a retired set, but like I told you, I pulled snowflakes out of different stamp sets because I wanted a variety for the ladies to use. And we're using this one on this particular project, but I'm grabbing this one for another one too, so you'll see that one. And then the die set that I'm using is the branching out dies. This is bundled together with a stamp set, which is beautiful too, but I absolutely love this die set. These nesting label dies are wonderful, and you've got these nice greenery pieces with the pine cone and the pine branches. So I have grabbed this smallest label out here, and that's what I've used for the die cutting. And then I grabbed some polished dots. We've got the little clear ones is what we're using on this. Let me grab them out of here. Okay. So this is our project. Just a very simple design with that garden green. It's very festive, very this much time of year, but at the same time is understated with the designer series paper that's just very subtle with this with a snowflake pattern in it. It's not crazy. You don't want something like that for when you're sending, a caring note card. Some of the ladies at class made the snowy day cards into holiday cards, and that was a very easy transition. So the sentiment just really changes, obviously, the whole feel of the card. You can choose what you'd like. On this card, this whole panel, the soft seafoam with the panels of designer series paper, that is popped up with some dimensionals. You can see there. Everything else is set flush to the card. And then we've got our snowflakes inside. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you how I made this card and take you through it. So we've got our basic white envelope. We've got a piece of garden green that is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. We've got a piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25. A piece of soft seafoam that is 3 by 4.5. Our die cut label from the branching out dies, and that is the smallest one. You've got that beautiful stitching on it, so that's great. And then I grabbed a bunch of DSP, but we only need 4. So I've got those, and I will tell you, some of the ladies at class decided to do the pines on the back. So you can do whatever you like. If you've got a kit to go, it's your choice, it's your decision. Some actually did even like a rotation of them like that. Totally your call, whatever you'd like to do. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started on this one. Let me grab a piece of paper to stamp on here. All right. Envelope, and then we've got our heartfelt prayers and the little sending we got from the Peace on Earth stamp set. And I need to grab my phone now. I'm going to do my snowflakes first, and then nope, I need to do the sentiment. So let's see. I did that one, sending heartfelt prayers. Maybe I'll change this one up too, just to give you ladies, just to give, or ladies, gentlemen, any stampers. Let's do that. Let me do that right now. I'm going to change it up. So why not? We're just going to create on the fly a little bit there. That one's going to be too long. Let's do the Peace on Earth. I'll grab that one. So if you're one that wants to create it as a holiday card, let's do that. Take that one off. Just to give you options. Okay, so we've got our Peace on Earth. I want to be able to put some snowflakes there, so I'm just going to kind of offset this and stamp that over to the side. And then we're going to stamp some snowflakes. come back in here with the, let's see. Hmm, hmm, hmm. Something to go like that. Got some snowflakes on there. Let's get some snowflakes on this envelope. I love this snowflake stamps, that little stamp. I use it all the time. I'm like snowflakes. I'm just as bad as like snowflakes in a flower set. If you've got those, I'm like in. I'm just like, yes, sign me up, please. And then we'll bring in our inside layer and stamp that down for some snowflakes in the corner. Let me clean off my stamp. All right. Move my little paper out here. We're ready to go ahead and assemble this card. Okay. And we'll just sign our series paper. Had to grab a little drink of water there. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and flip these over and put a little adhesive on each one. Like I said, you don't need a lot. If you put a lot on here and you put it on real heavy, you're gonna have it all over your fingers and all the things. So I'll grab my silicone mat to put this on in case I've got a little adhesive that's running over the top. So I'm just gonna place these so that there's about 1/8 of an inch in between. And how I like to do that, let me get this, slide it off my paper here. How I like to do it is start on the left side, and then I'm going to put my right side piece on there. And then I'm going to split the difference with this center two. That's what works for me. So I'm setting that down, but I haven't pressed it yet because with the liquid adhesive, it gives me a little bit of room to move. So I'm like, okay, I'll move this one over a little bit, straighten that one out a little bit. Okay, I like the way that is. Oh, that one jiggled on me a little bit there. There we go. So I'm going to flip that over, give it a press, and I've got my panel. And then come in with some dimensionals. That's the great thing about the liquid adhesive. I mean, all of our adhesives are great, I think, but the liquid adhesive for me gives me a little bit of time to like move it around. Grab all these little guys off of here. Okay, so we're just going to center that, kind of frame it within the card. There we go. And then come in there with our label, which we're putting on with just some liquid adhesive, some of the Tombow. And I'm going to offset it to the side, just like I did that one. I mean, you could center it within, but I kind of like the offset. Just creates a little different interest. And then let me grab some gems. Okay. Just grab some of these. A little, take your pick tool, put that up. So I'm just going to put them on the snowflakes. What I liked about these clear dots is that it added a little bit of interest on the card, but it wasn't overstated. So that if you're using it as a carrying note class, it is, I'm just going to put 2 on there. I just want, well, maybe we should put the 3 on there. So if you in your kit, you'll have enough to put 3 on, but I like it for myself with this one. I like it with 2 on there. You could always put a third one anywhere around here. So whatever you'd like to do. All right, so let's just take these out of the way. And then we'll come back in there, and then I've got to put this inside in. See, really thin layer of glue, not a lot. It's going to hold it down nicely. Okay, so there we go. We've got our second card. let me move these things aside and we'll put in with our next project. Hey, oh, little gems. All right. Okay, so we're going to use the bow maker here. I'm going to show you how to use that. Here's the card that we're making. So on this project here, I'll show you this one before I explain all these supplies that I've got in front here. So in your kit, if you did a kit to go, you might have this ribbon, you might have a white one with the silver on it, or you may have a one with the twine on it, the silver and white twine. I needed to make so many bows that I needed to improvise and add different ribbons. So just know that it could be any combination, but they will all have a silver accent piece. For this one, I'm going to use the silver twine, so I'll show you how I've done that one. But I tied the bows using the bow maker here. Okay, so this one, and we're going to use the snowflake panel. Not on this one. I don't think I didn't put them on my example that way to put the snowflakes over here, but I'll go ahead and do it for class because I know a lot of ladies at class did it that way, and it does add an extra element to your card. So for the stamp set, we're using the Right Words, which is a great all occasion stamp set, and I've chosen the happy birthday out of there and the celebrating, said to someone we're celebrating. So let's see, should we change this one up already? I mean, should we just, I'm thinking like, maybe I should change this one. Hmm, I think I will, just because I've changed the other ones just to give you a different perspective. I'll go ahead and make this one a thank you note. So I'm going to do thank you so much for thinking of me. Let's change it up. Let's see, where's that? There we go. I think it'll fit on there. Yeah, I think our sentiment will fit just fine. All right, we're going to do that. And then we're using real red ink. And then we're using this die, which is coming out of the Snowflake Kisses die, just like I showed you earlier, and it's that recessed piece. So that's the die out of there. Grab that little snowflake from the set that we used last time. And then the designer series paper. Several of the ladies asked me at class where the paper came from, and I'm going to tell you, there's a good chance you might have a pack because it was a celebration paper, I think, from last year, and it's called Peaceful Prints. So if you have Peaceful Prints, you'll have this pack of paper, and in it came the red and the plaid with the white snowflakes on it. Oh my gosh, words are so hard for me today. And then we've got this piece, which we used at our Christmas card class. And then we've got the snowflake piece. So this pack of paper, if you've got it, you've got a little gold mine there, just pull that out and use it. That's what we need to do is use our paper. And I just couldn't find, Stampin' Up! Didn't have in this catalog for the projects that I was doing here. It didn't have the what I was going for with the snowflakes. I needed something with snowflakes on every single project. So I had to think outside the box on that one. But we do have wonderful papers with Stampin' Up! I mean, I know you'll find beautiful ones in there, but I needed snowflakes. So we've got start with our basic white envelope. I almost said whisper white. That's what we used to have. Our real red cardstock is 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4.25. We've got a piece of designer series paper that's 3.5 by 5.25. A piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25. We've got a strip of our silver metallic paper, which is specialty paper, and it's a 1/2 inch by 5.25. And then we've got our velvety white holiday paper. It comes in three different colors in the velvet. It's a sorted pack. It's a specialty paper. I can't think of it right now for the life of me, but there's a velvet in there. I mean the white velvet. And it has such a beautiful texture to it. So you really like that. If you've got the kit, you're going to be able to feel that texture in there. Then we've got a piece of the metallic silver, and we've used the stylish stitch shapes again. So the one we used on the first project with the blue designer series paper. I've die cut a banner out. You can find these banners in that die set as well. And then I've also made a white label out of the basic white. Both of those are in the die set for the stylish stitch shapes. And then I've got my little die cut snowflakes that came out of that piece. Okay, oops, not that one. All right, we'll start by folding our card base in half. Man, I tell you, I've got like such a busy day today. My son stopped by. I wasn't expecting for him to stop by, which was like always, that's always a nice visit when your child stops by. So it was nice to visit with him. I'm going to go ahead and start by layering the front a little bit here. So I'm going to start with my um, velvet piece and just put on the non-fuzzy velvety side. I'm just going to put a little adhesive and fasten that down. Now, this is how I'm building it. You do what works best for you. Some of the ladies at class built it and attached it to the designer series paper. It's really whatever works for you. But I wanted to make sure I get a nice margin right here with this velvety piece. Now then for the silver, I am going to take and attach it to my designer series paper just so I can get a little bit of the metallic silver on the outside, and that's going to be easier for me to work with on this. I think, like, yeah, that's how I want to do it for this one. Do what works best for you. So anyway, yeah, my son stopped by. So that was a nice surprise. And I got to have lunch with him and hang out a little bit. So that is a good visit with him and just a nice treat for my day. I don't normally get to see him since he lives like an hour away. So I'm gonna layer that down front in the front there. So yeah, so I was doing that, visiting with Ethan, and I mixed up, so I had my sourdough starter going today. So I mixed up some sourdough. So I've got that rising. Well, it's doing its thing. If you make sourdough, then you know that, and the little dot is still in there, but I'm gonna go ahead and keep it in there because I like that. I'm not gonna worry about popping that out. You might have that on yours too with the die cuts. You could have little pieces that you need to pop out, but that little center hole in there, I'm okay with that. I like it. Okay. Better stamp my sentiment. Anyway, I've got my sourdough rising. So I'm making just like a traditional sourdough. And then let's hope I got that right on there. So much for thinking of me. Okay. I'm gonna flip it over because I set it down a little bit before I wanted to. Oh yeah, I like that one much better. Remember, there's two sides to every side of paper, so flip it over. You don't stamp it the right how you like it, flip it over. All right. And then gotta bring in my envelope. Outside, we've got that. Need to stamp some snowflakes. Um, so yeah, so my traditional loaf of sourdough, and then I made a batch where I put that was close. I almost dropped that right on there. I put some sun-dried tomatoes in there and some fresh oregano. Like not It's dried oregano, but it was fresh. So it's dried. Like not it didn't come out of the container in the store, which nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying I happen to have that on hand, so that's what I used. Anyway, I cannot wait to make that into the focaccia bread. It was delicious the last time I made it. So, my mouth is watering just thinking about it. Okay. And it makes the best like grilled cheese. Oh my goodness. My husband and I, we had some rainy weather lately. And Roger was like, "Oh, we should have like soup and grilled cheese." And I was like, "I'm gonna be honest with you. Ever since I started making some sourdough bread, I don't really like grilled cheese with any other bread other than sourdough and the homemade. It just makes such delicious. No, I put that down. I was going to say, did I pop that up with the dimensionals? But I did not. It's all flat to the surface. But you could pop it up when you're putting yours together. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on that. So yeah, so I told him, I'm like, you know what? I'll make some sourdough this week so we can have some grilled cheese with some soup. I made a homemade kale and chicken soup. Oh my gosh, it was so delicious. It was so yummy. Okay, let me grab these snowflakes. Put those on the inside. So yeah, is that making you hungry for soup? Grilled cheese, that's just a like cozy thing to eat when it gets cold. And let's see, so I've got the sourdough. I'm gonna make some pumpkin bread. So this has been like a very creative day for me with doing cards. Let's see, we'll put this one right here. With doing the cards and making the bread and then baking, I'm just like got a little. Oh, sorry, I'm off camera. Oh gosh, I hope that I'm not off camera all the time. There's like a little, you see that? There's a little extra piece in here. I want to just get it out. That's so bad. I'm trying to watch the camera, but man, I hope I'm not off camera when I'm doing this. Hmm. Like I said, it's a little bit of a learning curve. I've got a new setup with my camera. I'm filming now on what used to be my father-in-law's tool bench. And Roger, you know, he's really crafty with all the woodworking. I am not, obviously. I'll stick to the stamping. And he like refurbished it. And we're going to put this one up here. And painted it, made it a wood top. Like I could show you. I can't turn the camera down. It's on the table surface. But this used to be like the the surface where like his dad might do his projects and stuff. Anyway, where I'm going with this is that Roger was going to make it for a gardening bench for me because I love to garden. And he's like, "Hey, I'm just going to redo this. I'm going to clean it up and you can do your gardening on it, have your plants on it and things like that." And he got done with it and I was like, that's so pretty. I don't want to use that for my gardening. I would like to bring that in my stamp studio." So that was a chore bringing it downstairs, but it's here and it seems to work. So, okay, so I'm going to use my bow maker. And my husband makes these little bow makers. If you would have interest in one, just message me about getting one. They're only $5. That's if you pick them up locally. If you need it shipped, it would be a little bit more. But this is a great way to make bows. Very easy if you are challenged with making small little bows like this. So I'm going to use the twine, and I am left-handed, so this might be a little backwards for someone who's right-handed, but I always bring the tail to my right and come around the back side, wrap it around, and because it's twine, I'm going to go around again. So it's going to give me a double loop. I'm going to crisscross them, bring my tail up and over, and then bring it around, and then simply tie it in a knot. Pull that tight, take my nails out. Okay, grab my scissors and then cut the ends off there. And that gives me a nice little bow. Here we go. See the little guy? I think the double loops on twines just gives it a little bit more substance, and I like the way that looks. Let me see. Glue dots, where are they? Okay. Let's grab over. come over to my desk and get some. Always using the glue dots from Paper Pumpkin kits. It's just the easiest way to use them. I tend to use the full adhesive. Paper Pumpkins kits come with either, well, tear and tape. If they come with tear and tape, I'll use that, but I tend to not use the glue dots other than for ribbons and things like that. So I'm just going to tuck the little glue dots there and put my ribbon there as my final embellishment. And then we've got our third card there. All righty. See. Let me move these things out of the way, and we're going to come in here with our last project. This was the puzzle at class. This was a puzzle. Okay. Alrighty. Let me put these projects out of the way. Okay, here she is. We've got this beauty. And it's a little bit of a puzzle, but it is fun. And it is a great way to use your strips. I love showing projects where you can use your strips of designer series paper because we all have them. So we are using the Snowflake Kisses stamp set again. And that one, there we go. So on this one here, in this project here, I'm using the Sending Warm Hugs, and then May the Chill of Winter be warmed by love and friendship. So I'm going to use those two sentiments. This is a great winter set, if I haven't mentioned that already. Grab some snowflakes out of the Snowflake Wishes stamp set, which is a retired one, I know. Here we go. The ink that we're using is Balmy Blue. I've grabbed these two dies out of the Snowflake Kisses die set, so you get this fun label in there and then a larger snowflake. So those are the two dies that I grabbed out of that. Then we're also using some glimmer paper. Fabulous, I know. And some snowflake paper. And again, this is retired, I know. You very well could have it though in your stash. It's called Snowflake Splendor Designer Series paper. And it's just got all kinds of goodness with snowflakes, different designs and everything. And you'll have strips in your kit if you're doing that. So again, I needed snowflakes to be able to make the project. So I needed to pull from papers that I had. All right. So on this project here, everything is flush to the card except for the sentiment is up on dimensionals and the snowflake is right to the label. So our supplies that you have, I'm going to tuck this right here so you can see them. The supplies in your kit that you have is a piece of basic white that is 5.5 by 8.5, and this is just our standards, our regular weighted paper. A lot of times when I'm using the basic white, I use the thick cardstock, but on this one, I'm just using the basic weight. Then you've got another piece of basic white that is 4 by 5.25. And then you'll have multiple strips of designer series paper. These are all a 1/2 inch. They're double-sided, so you'll have the option of choosing which one you want to use and how you want to layer them. And then you're going to have some glimmer paper in your kit. You could have this iridescent white glimmer paper, like is on the example. You could have the balmy blue, or you could have the silver, and you can mix and match those and use those how you would like as well. You're going to have a die cut label piece and a die cut balmy blue snowflake, along with your embellishments. So I'm going to grab some of those dots out of here too, and you'll just be using one on each snowflake. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and fold our card base in half. Okay. Just remember, you're making 2 of each card. So as we're going through this, you can do the steps for both cards, or since you're watching the video, you can stop and start it whenever you'd like. So we'll go ahead and do our stamping. So I've got my sentiment on the label, and then I've got the inside sentiment as well. And you can see I've carried that design over on the inside of the card too. So let's do that, and then we'll start gluing all of our strips. Okay, we've got our sending warm hugs. Whoops. And stamp that over to the right because I want to be able to allow space for that snowflake. And then I'm going to do the inside sentiment. And whoops, I need to get my foam mat. What did I do with it? There it is. I need to get my foam mat because that's a larger polymer stamp, and I definitely want to stamp that with the padding underneath so I get a good impression. Okay. All right, and then we will do our snowflakes on the envelope. And I'm just going to stamp those randomly on here to give a little flurry of snowflakes. And we'll go ahead and close our ink pad. All right, I'm going to bring in my silicone mat to do our layering now. Right. So how I did this for mine, and let me go up again. I'm afraid that I'm going to watch this video back and I'm going to be off screen for half of the stuff since I'm down here. So I'm just going to go ahead and make a perimeter on my card front. So you are layering your stamps on this white layer, not on the front of your card. Okay, you're going to layer it on the white layer. And then you're going to start by layering a long strip right down the center at an angle. So when you do this, you don't want to just put the strip like, split the difference. You want to make sure just have a little bit of overhang up here and have this strip coming down. So you have a longer strip here because you're going to cut that off because you're going to use that on either your other card or in another spot on this card. So I'm going to put that down. And then I'm just going to go ahead and layer my pieces. So each time you make a layer, you're going to have to make a decision between which side you want. And they're all going to be different. Everybody's project at class, they all looked different and they all looked really beautiful. So the glimmer strips are cut to be like the third or fourth strip out. So you won't be able to put those down the center, just so you know. Those will be a little shorter and they're meant for you to do on one of the, like I said, third or fourth layer out. Okay, so we got those down. Let me grab some more strips here. Let's see what I've got. Oh, this one's pretty. Okay. Get this one. Just some light blue and some speckles there. And then this one. So as you can see, I'm just building my layer. And then what do we got here? This one. I don't think I've used that side yet. And here we go. Just like a little puzzle. Like I said, just a bit of a puzzle. I'm going to put this one over here. Okay, and then what do we got here? That one. And then let me grab another. I'm going to cut right here. I need one for the little edges. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it. So because I need to cover these little edges here and I need to cut some of the strips off. So this is what you're ending up with. Looks like this. I'm going to flip it over and I'm just going to take my scissors and trim. I'm just going to follow the cardstock. Okay, and turn. Because you will use some of these on your second card since you're making two cards in each kit. Okay, those out of the way. With these little guys, I don't think I'm going to be able to reuse. They're going to be too tiny. So you've just got little pieces hanging over on this edge. Go. Okay. I'll get that out of the way. So I need to still have some paper up here. So I'm going to do that little color. And then what do we want to do down here? Maybe these little flakes here. Okay. So I've got those two little corners there and I need to cut those. Again, I'm going to have this piece that I'm going to be able to use on another card. And same for this one. I'll be able to use that on the smaller edge. Okay. So you're going to have a bunch of pieces left over, and these will be pieces that you'll then use on the next card. So keep that in mind when you're placing them on your project. You don't want to do half and half and have ends on each side. You just want to have a little tab up here and a longer strip at the bottom. So you have enough to make on the second card. Okay, so this is your layer. So see how that differs from what we've got there, but they both look really cool, equally as beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and the great thing about doing it this way is that it allows you then to just use this as a panel and set that down on your card front. So it makes it a whole lot easier. There were some examples where they just, you may not have observed that you needed to use that layer for the front. So some ladies did put it fully on the front panel and it just made you have longer strips, but doing it this way gives your card a little bit more strength because of the layering. So I've got that first layer there with our designer series paper, and then I'm going to go ahead and add some little strips of DSP in here because I want to carry that design over. So let me do that. So, okay. I'm sorry, I'm off the camera again. Oh my gosh, I'll feel so bad if I'm like not on camera when I'm doing this. Yikes. Okay. And then that on here. Yeah, I'm going to feel really bad if that has happened. And then we'll do this one. That right there. Okay. Great. And then we'll flip this over and trim it just like you did the other ones. And this around. Okay. Let's move those out of the way. So we've got a little bit of our design on the inside there, carrying it over. I know it's going two different directions. If you want to take yours so it goes the same direction of the card, you do you. Whatever works best, but I'm okay with it being that way. Okay, and then we want to put our sentiment on. Grab that. We need to get some dimensionals. Okay. Those dimensionals on there. Go ahead and just put that down to the side, but you can do whichever you would like. And it was off there, not gluing it on the camera again. And then I'm going to put that snowflake just kind of right off the side like that. And add our little gem to it. Okay. There we go. that as a finishing touch. And in your kit, you'll have, if you've got a kit to go, you're going to have an embellishment kit packet in there. So you should find that, and that's going to have all your die cuts and your embellishments and things like that. Let me bring this one back up into the shot there. Okay, there we go. Right. So I'd love to hear which card you liked the most, what you liked about the project. I'd love to hear your feedback. Let me bring things in here. Just kind of do these off to the side, see if I can get everything in the frame here. If there's anything that you saw today that you want to use for your own personal collection, the stamps and the dies, things like that, you can go to my online store. My website is stampingyoucrazy.stampinup.net, and you can just sign into your own rewards account there and shop away, and things will be delivered right to your door. You're always welcome to message me. I'm happy to help you with ordering. And I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel if you are not already a subscriber. And if you would like and share the video, that helps me grow my channel. And I do very much appreciate that. And like I said, I'd love to hear your feedback from the projects. And I appreciate you joining me today. So I hope you like the Snowy Day class and the projects that I shared. And I know that we're running into the holidays for approaching Thanksgiving and then Christmas and New Year's and all the things. But I hope that you find some time to sit down and create and give yourself a little bit of a break in all the holiday craziness. So, all right, until next time, everyone, happy stamping. Bye bye for now.